everyone, good morning. It's Susie de Jong and I am the founder of Beautifully Selfish and the Beautifully Selfish movement. And I'm not sure if anyone's there yet, but today I am holding my first ever masterclass. And I was actually thinking about this overnight, masterclass. It's a funny word because I hated school. The only thing I got out of school was my friends, who I still have after 30-something years. So the word masterclass didn't really resonate with me. And I thought, well, what else can I call it? So I love to share. And I thought, I'm going to call it Susie Shares, because when you get some wisdom and some knowledge, there's nothing better than sharing that with people. So today is the first Susie Shares. And thank you so much for joining me. I was really, really excited about this. And today what we're going to do is go on a little journey with me and explore 3 of the biggest blocks that may be holding you back from having the life of your dreams. And we're not just going to explore them, we're going to look at them in detail, and then I am going to give you some practical steps you can put into place today, straight after this video, to really help you shift those blocks. So I'm really thrilled. I actually had, if you saw my live the other day, I came up with 10 of my biggest blocks, but it would have taken me all day to do that. So I've picked the top 3 that personally for me, and I would love to continue on with this series and do another couple. I'll do another one next week and pick another 3. And please feel free to suggest ones that you might like as well. So, who am I and why should you care about anything I have to say? That's a pretty good question, isn't it? I am an ordinary person, just like everyone else. But something happened to me that I guess you could call an awakening in a way. And if you'd have known me a couple of years ago, I was running a successful business. It was very busy. I had a very supportive husband and daughter, wonderful family, beautiful friends. And on the outside it might have looked like I had it all together. But if you saw what was going on inside of me, it was a totally different thing. So hi everyone that's joining too. I can see little things crop up, but I need my glasses on. Oh, hi everyone. And what was going on inside of me? Well, I had this I've got it all together mask on, like a lot of us women do. And so guys, this is for you too. I don't mean to just cut you out, because a lot of the things I'm going to share with you today, it doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl. It's all applicable. But women, we have certain traits, and I know them well. So inside I was this massive anxiety, like a big ball of anxiety inside of me. And I was just on autopilot. And if you'd have asked me at that time what made me happy and what I was looking forward to in the future, couldn't tell you. I could not tell you what that was. I was just so stuck in this place. And I knew inside me that I wasn't living my life to the highest purpose and the highest ability that I could. For me personally, I'm not talking about anyone else. So that's when I sought support and realised that a lot of the things that I believed in my life were wrong. They were stories that I told myself. But when you have these beliefs and you're brought up with them and you get them from society and school and family and everything, if you don't challenge them, you just think they're true. And once I really looked and got out of my own way, because I was really good at that and telling myself stories, and once I started really looking at these negative self-beliefs I had and challenged them, is when everything changed for me. It was like shedding a skin. I could get excited about things again, and that's when I started to realise that my my true purpose in life was to set up my business as a coach, mentor and speaker and share what I know, share what I've learned. And I'm still learning. Hey, you know, I'm a masterpiece in progress like all of you out there, and I am perfectly imperfect. But it's like a light switch when this stuff starts to clear for you. It really is. So I want to get started, and thank you so much for joining me today. And please stick around for the end, because at the end I've got a really wonderful thing that I want to share with you. But you need to watch the whole thing. So let's get started. So I'm going to put my glasses on because I can't see without them. Let's start with the first biggest block. And one I thought was really important to deal with, because it's huge, is others' opinions. Others' opinions of you, your choices, and how you live your life. And I'm calling it stepping out of the shadows and doing it anyway. Others' opinions. This is a huge one. What would you have done over your lifetime, looking back, if you had never had to consider the opinion of others? Hi, Libby. Oh, I can see now. That's a tricky one, isn't it? Because if anyone said that they had never been affected by other people's opinions, I wouldn't believe them, because we all, at some stage in our lives, if you're still not doing it now, have worried about what other people think. Because our innate human need is to be accepted, and our biggest fear is to be rejected. So that, you know, is part of the reason why we feel that it matters what others think of what we're doing. But there is a huge difference in caring about what others' opinions are of you and letting it dictate and rule your life. And therein lies a huge difference. Because when you do that, guys, you're giving your power away. When you care so much about what other people think, where's your power? It's not with you, it's with them. So what I want to do first of all is let's identify some of the reasons why you may be letting others' opinions affect you and your decisions at the cost of your own happiness. And I'm just going to walk through these with you. And if you've got a pen and paper, maybe jot some of these things down. I'll have the recording up for a little while. But they're really things to think about, because you may do all of these, or you may just do some of these or one of these. So one of the first reasons that people worry about what other people think is they want to be liked. You know, don't we all want to be liked? So you might be saying, worrying about what others are thinking of your decisions or your choices because you want them to like you. Secondly, you may be a people pleaser and you just want everyone to be happy. That was me, guys. That was me. And being a people, and me wanting to be liked, you know. So you don't want to rock the boat. You care about what everyone thinks. But that has a cost. It really does. It sucks the life out of you. Another reason that you might let others' opinions affect you is you don't want to let people down. You know, I think that's a big thing with women. You know, we care so much about everyone. But, you know, it's at the cost of what? So that's a huge one. And this last one's really important. Your self-esteem may be tied into whether others approve of you and your decisions. Now, doesn't that sound horrible? You know, that your self-esteem is tied into what others think of you. Because if you do that, I can guarantee that your self-esteem's going down, if it's not already down there. Because this way of behaving, guys, it turns you into squashing your own desires and your own dreams when all you're worried about is what other people think. Because when you worry so much about what other people think, you're living your life on their terms and not on your own. And how can you be happy when you were doing that. And the funny thing is that when you're on your deathbed, a long, long time from here now, you will be the one with the regrets that you didn't live your life the way that you wanted to, that you worried so much about what other people think. They won't be caring. Honestly, they won't. And you will wonder then why you gave so much power to other people. So, that's a really huge thing. So here I have, I've gone through the negatives, so let's get to the stuff that you can use, the stuff that you can really put into place today. In the stepping out of the shadows and doing it anyway, part 2. What can you put into place to change this pattern? Firstly, number 1, forget about failing. A lot of times we worry about what other people think because if we try something and we fail, what are they going to think, So you've got to forget about failing. You've just got to keep doing it anyway. Because really, there's no such thing as failure. Everything we do is learning. So let's just take that one off the table. Because find any successful person who hasn't failed, you won't. That's part of being successful, is willing to fail and willing to learn and not caring about what others think along the way. Secondly, another tip to help you with this of others' opinions is checking with your own intuition. We're very intuitive beings. You've got the answers inside of you, and you just need to be really quiet and listen and trust yourself. Trust your own intuition. And that will make a huge difference. The third point is you can still care about what other people think. I don't want us to be bad people. I care what other people think. But the difference is that I don't let their opinions govern my decisions anymore. Because I can look back over my life and I can see where I let others' opinions rule my decisions. And I have to say, I could have been a lot happier in my life if I hadn't. But it's all a learning curve. Hey Teresa, hey Natalie, thanks for the love. So, yes, you can care. I don't want you to stop caring, but not at the cost of what is really right for you. Fourthly, remind yourself whose life this is. It's your life. Live your life. It's not someone else's life. That's Daisy barking. I knew she'd do that. But anyway, remind yourself whose life it is. It's your life. Please, that is so important. I want you to live your life to the max. And finally, this is a huge one too. Never let what others think matter more than what you think. What you think is the most important. Other people can't think for you. You've got to trust yourself and put your own self first and what makes you happy. So how freeing would it be? Man, I just want you to sit in that and feel it. How freeing would it be for you to start from today with just a few of those things? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these points up. I'm going to share it on my private Facebook group. So I'll put a link to it too. So you've got these things to take away with you because, I'm no expert. This is all just my trial and error and my learnings as well. But what could be possible from here on in if you started living your life this way? It's so exciting. Okay, let's go on to the next big one. I hope you're enjoying this so far. Procrastinating. I can hear the groans already. That dream you've been sitting on, let's make it a reality, guys. Let's do it. Because I've discovered in my research on procrastination, because it is such a debilitating thing for people, that there are actually 2 different types of procrastination. One is called a productive procrastination and the other is destructive. So I'm just going to look at those a little bit more and explain them to you. And I want to see if you can really resonate with these. Productive procrastination is not really a bad thing. So productive procrastination may be when you're working on a creative project and you're waiting for the downloads to come through. And you can't force this stuff. So you might decide maybe you're writing something or, whatever it is, whatever creative thing it is for you, it could be working in your business and it's just not coming. So you can take yourself away for a walk, and take yourself to a headspace, maybe meditate or something where you can let that stuff come through. And that's what I mean by productive procrastination. It sounds a bit like an oxymoron, doesn't it? But it does actually, when you think about it, make sense. Secondly, though, the destructive one. And, I think most people have gone through this at some stage if you're not currently stuck in it. Destructive procrastination is when we avoid the things we know we need to get done. And that as a result of avoiding that, there's going to be some sort of negative consequence for us. Does that sound familiar for you? But what we need to understand that sort of procrastination is it's not laziness, because for some people that sort of procrastination is evidence of a bigger issue that's going on inside of them. And it could be the inability to take action because they feel paralysed by anxiety. And some of you may have experienced that, and it's not a pleasant thing at all. And I've experienced that too. So, I really feel for people going through that. And it's actually, that sort of procrastination is a coping mechanism for stress. Because some people feel unable to control this habit. But the stress may not be caused by the little things you're putting off, like cleaning out that spare room or, having that conversation with someone that you don't really want to have. It's actually a sign of a bigger underlying problem that you're facing. So, it could be money worries, relationship problems, or, just life in general. So when you're feeling that anxiety and you put off those things, it's easier to go and do something else because it's like an instant stress relief. So, going and trolling through Facebook or playing games on your iPad or whatever it is like just a quick fix to get over that. And so, when you understand the reasons why we do these things, it's a lot easier to work your way through them and not beat yourself up over them. Because when you do that beating yourself up over putting that stuff off, it's just like this catch-22 and you just feel worse. And, we don't want to beat ourselves up. We all do it, but it's really soul-destroying. So stop beating yourself up, guys. That's an order from me. So let me give you some steps now. I want to give you some steps on how you can look at this method and put it into place of getting over this procrastination that might be causing you real grief. Number one, the most important step to start with, forgive yourself. Beating yourself up is just pointless and it makes you worse. So please forgive yourself, guys. Secondly, another really good thing is to put yourself in the future. And I want you to have the sense of that feeling of when you've achieved that thing, how you're going to feel. So you start feeling it and it doesn't seem as bad. It doesn't seem as such a mountain to climb when you can feel how wonderful you're going to feel once you do that thing you've been putting off. Thirdly, now this has been a huge game changer for me. Do the thing you want to do least first. Get it out of the way. It's huge. I do this every day. I look at the things I've got to do and the one thing I want to do the least I do first, because then the rest of the day is so much more full of joy knowing that that thing's done, and you can just focus on the things that you really love. So it could be that filing that you've been putting off. It could be that talk you've got to have with someone, the duty phone call, you know, it could be something like that. The bookwork, that was always my one. Do it first, then the rest of the day is yours, and it's yay, it's really good. Fourthly, another great tip, break the things down that you don't want to do or that seem too overwhelming into little chunks, and schedule them into your day and commit to them. Put it in your diary, that 15 minutes. So 15 minutes, and I was thinking about this one, I thought, what's a good analogy? And I thought 15 minutes of scheduling, organising your kitchen cupboard into your day is a lot less yuck and overwhelming than spending 2 hours of trying to find the right lids for your Tupperware containers. That for me is a huge one. So find those little things and put them into your day, and you know, you'll be amazed at the results that will give you. And finally, the fifth one on our procrastination busting list. Don't set yourself tasks that you know you are never going to achieve, because there's no point. And that's just another thing then to beat yourself up over. So I hope that those tips are something that you can take away, because the thing is, we want to be kind to ourselves. You know, there's no point being your worst enemy. We need to look after ourselves. Oh, I've got another one. Sorry, I turned the page and I saw it. This is a really good one. I actually got this out of a book. Simplify, clear, and they're called the Drainers. And there's a great book by a lady called Shanna, S-H-A-N-N-A-H, Kennedy, in a book called Life Plan. And I think you can get that at most bookstores and at Kiki K. And she calls them drainers. And these drainers, and I'm going to read this because I've got quite a quote. These drainers aren't limited to physical stuff, but also mental clutter. And Shana says, drainers are like tiny sandbags that are stacked at the back of your neck. Each sandbag on its own may be small and insignificant, but when they're combined, they weigh you down, and they make you feel tired, lethargic, stressed, and chaotic. Your personal environment, finances, relationship, and well-being are the key areas where you need to simplify and eliminate the drainers. Isn't that cool? So simplicity brings clarity. So simplify our lives. And finally, another really important one, number 7, treat yourself. Once you've ticked those things off your list that you wanted to do, treat yourself, guys. Do something nice for yourself, whatever that is for you. Could be going and having a facial, go for a walk on the beach. For me, it's playing with my puppy dogs. You know, whatever it is for you. Give yourself a pat on the back. Well done you did it. You know, small steps. As a friend of mine, Louise says, Louise Walker, if you're watching Louise, small steps create huge ripples, and that's true. Number 3, now we're getting to the end of it. This is all the work that I do with my clients, and once you can get through this stuff, you know, it's like a veil's been lifted, it really is. The third biggest one, our third biggest negative self-belief or block, saying no. Saying yes when we really want to say no. So this is how to honour yourself and say no with love. Now this is a really big thing for women, and I know a lot of women that I have in my circle have struggled with this, and I personally did too. And my friend Libby, we both support each other in this, because, you know, we were real yes people. And the first key to unlocking this energy sucking habit, and it is energy sucking, is to identify the reason behind why you do what you do. We've all done it. I will send I will post the entire video for you. Is it lay my? So off you go to work, and I promise I'll put it up. So the first key, we've got to work out why you do what you do. We've all done it. We've all heard the word yes come out of our mouth, while inside our head we are screaming, no. No, I don't want to go to that school reunion. No, I don't want to look after your cat and water the plants while you go on holiday. No, I don't want to go with you to visit Auntie Bessie for morning tea at the nursing home. No, I don't want to. Fill in the blank, whatever it is for you. The inability to say no can be soul destroying. It sucks your energy. You spend time doing things. You spend your time on doing things you don't want to do instead of doing the things you want to do. And it can cause you anxiety, and more importantly, you can become very resentful to those people. But our inability to say no is not something that we were born with. It's a learned behaviour. Because if you look at toddlers, they don't have any problem with saying no if they don't want to do something. So it's a learned behaviour. And why that happens? Because children want their parents' love and affection, and they will do anything they can to get it. And when they see that they get it by not refusing a parent's request, they think, oh, well, when I do that, that gives me that love and affection. So us saying no is a learned behaviour. So if we've learnt it, the good news is we can unlearn it. So let's look at the reasons why you say yes instead of saying no. And it may be one of the following. I've just jotted a few down. Number one, if I say no, the person asking might be offended. Okay, because, you know, we're nice people. We don't want to offend anyone. Well, that's the way I was brought up. I'm sure most people are like that. Number two, and some of these are tied into the first one about others' opinions. If I say no, they may not like me. If I say no, it might seem as if I'm selfish and not a caring person. And there's that word, the selfish word. Who wants to appear like that? If I say no, I might be rejected. And yeah, as I said, that's one of our primary goals in life, is to be accepted and not rejected, because being rejected causes you pain. Okay, so they are just some of the reasons. You've probably got reasons of your own, but they're the ones that sprung to mind for me. So part two, what can we do about this? How to honour ourselves by saying no with love. How can you change this pattern? And you don't have to become aggressive to turn this around, because I'm certainly not an aggressive person. But you just need to become more assertive. And the most important thing to remember when you say no is you are refusing the request and you're not refusing the person. So here are some tips on how to say no with love. Number one, start small. Say no to the little things first and then work your way up. So it might be saying, no, I can't talk to you now, to that one friend who always rings you late at night, may spend an hour on the phone complaining about how sucky their life is, how miserable they are, then they hang up feeling better while you're left sitting there feeling drained. So say no to that person. Say, no, sorry, I'm afraid I can't talk now, it's not convenient, or let it go to message bank. Number two, become aware of the reason why you don't want to say no. So those points that I listed before. And challenge it if it's not a healthy reason. People pleasing, that may be your reason for your inability to say no. So I want you to work out why. What is the reason that you feel that you say no when you really want to say yes, and challenge it. Thirdly, if you absolutely find it absolutely impossible to say no, a straight out no, what I'd like you to try instead is just say, I'll get back to you. I just need to check a few things. Or I'll get back to you. You don't even have to say that. So you're not saying no to their face, but it gives you time to think. And it gives you time, a breathing space to decide whether it's really something you want to do. Instead of instantly blurting out and reacting and saying yes. So simply, if someone asks you something, just simply say, I'll have to get back to you on that. And don't commit when you really don't want to commit. Number 4, trust your instincts and your gut reaction. If you feel that it's something you really don't want to do, then you can say no. And you may be really surprised when the person simply accepts your answer and understands it. Because as women, or me personally, we're really great at building up this story in our heads of the future and, you know, what people may say and how it's going to affect them. But that's just a story in our head. You know, to you it might be some big deal saying no, and that person might go, okay, sure, I understand, maybe next time. So, you know, trust your instincts and your gut reaction, and if it's something you just don't want to do, then say no. Okay? And finally, I want you to think of the reasons, if you say no, what that will add to your life. You know, more time for the things that you want to do, more time for your family, and less of a feeling of stress. So that's a really good reason for saying no. What will it add to your life and benefit you? Because I want you to remember a couple of things. I want you to really remember that your self-worth does not depend on how much you do for other people. It really doesn't. And assertiveness is about the right to be treated with equal respect. It's about learning what's appropriate and fair and balancing your own rights, wants and needs with those of others. So I hope that's helped. And as I said, I'm going to type these things out for you, and I'll put them in my private Facebook group with a link, so that you can look at these and just sit with it for a while and see, you know, whether you're falling into some of those categories. Because these 3 blocks, if you can work your way through them, things just start happening in your life. And I am where I am now, and as I said, I'm just an ordinary person just like you, but I am living my life on my terms now, and I am doing the things that I want to do for me. Doesn't mean I don't care about other people, but wow, once you get past these things, it's really huge. So now, the exciting part. I would love to share a one-on-one session with someone who is really, really ready to commit to shattering their blocks and negative patterns. And what I want to do is offer a one-on-one session, which is valued at $1,000. And what we're going to do is get together, identify what your dreams and goals are, and then we're going to look at what are those blocks and limiting self-beliefs maybe stopping you from putting yourself out there. Because you've got to remember, guys, that it doesn't matter what your dreams are, what your goals are, you still have to take action. You know, you can wish and hope all you want, and that's what I've done. And yes, it can be uncomfortable sometimes, I'm not going to lie. But once you start reaching your goals and your dreams, there is nothing in the world to replace that. So I'm offering a session to someone. All you need to do is type yes in the comments box below this video, and I will contact you, and you will just be amazed at what's possible. And this is what I do. This is what I do with part of what I do with my clients. I've got some other fantastic tools like rapid transformational therapy that I use as well. But all you need to do is write yes below, and I'll contact the successful person. And I would also love any feedback that you have from today. Okay, as I said, I'm going to run a few more of these. I'm going to pick some more yucky blocks and negative self-beliefs, and we're going to work through them to really help you, because that's what I want to do. I really want you to live your best lives. I want you to be happy. I want you to, like, this life is here to live, and that's what we should be doing. That's why we're here. So I'm going to run some more, but please give me some feedback. Share this video with someone you think that it might help, because that is what I'm all about, is sharing wisdom. There's nothing like it in the world. And of course, if you want to contact me directly, just send me a private message and I will get back to you straight away. So remember, guys, you are a masterpiece in progress. And I want to share this saying that a lovely lady whose breakfast I'm going into tomorrow, she uses all the time. I want you to be daring. I want you to dare to live that best life, and I want you to be disruptive. I want you to disrupt those blocks. I want you to disrupt those negative self-beliefs. Daring and disruptive. That's what we're here for. So I'm going to sign off. Thank you so much. I really value your time, and I hope that that's been of some benefit to you, and I will be back again soon. So bye for now. Mwah.